So, they come around every once in a while and we've got to do one. This is a grammar lesson. I hate them, you hate them. It sucks, but here it is. And it's not even a very good one. All we're going to do today is talk about connectors. Excuse me. Connectors are words that connect two sentences or two fragments of a sentence together. There you go. That's a masterclass on connectors. We'll go into a little more detail than that. So if you turn to page 58 in your book, we've got a 2-page spread. Actually, it sort of comes down to 1 page. A whole page on connectors, even though you've done it before. It's just a quick review, but it's worth going over, and then we'll do an exercise on them. And we'll go into a little more details about the types of connectors you've got and the functions they have. So first of all, here's a video introduction.
Connectors. Okay, children, let's learn what connectors are. Connectors are said to be joining words as they join two or more sentences or words.
Can you imagine? So let's have a look through the book. Page 58, quick review. Connectors. Connectors are words and phrases used to indicate the relationship between two ideas in a sentence or to link paragraphs.
That sounds too complicated.
Rarely to link paragraphs. They are commonly found in texts that give advice to explain why something should or should not be done. So, or, there's a very good use of a connector right there. Connectors of condition like as long as, provided that, and only if indicate the circumstances under which something happens. For example, rewrite the resume if you make any mistakes. You can also turn that around. We can put the connector at the beginning of the sentence, and where we've taken the connector out, we just fix it with a comma. If you make any mistakes, comma, rewrite the resume. And that works perfectly well. We can always reorder it and put the connector at the front. It's still a connector because the word is still connecting the two ideas.
Tell me more.
The sentence above indicates to the reader what a resume should be, when a resume should be rewritten. Yeah. I would also argue that you should rewrite a resume fairly often anyway, just to keep it updated with modern trends or with updates in your situation. A handwritten resume looks unprofessional and suggests that you do not have basic computer skills.
I'm an idiot. I can't.
However, and there it is at the beginning of the sentence, some prospective employers ask for a written resume to assess your ability to spell correctly and write legibly. The connector, however, in the example above, contrasts the idea of submitting a resume that has been created using a computer and sending one that has been handwritten. Connectors of reason like because, in order to, and for indicate reasons for a particular action. For example, refrain from using fancy or coloured paper as this usually impresses no one. This sentence above explains why certain types of paper should not be used. And there are other examples in the passage. And again, we can change the sentence around. We can't actually, can we? Okay, you could. As this usually impresses no one, comma, refrain from using fancy or colour paper. Now that makes perfect sense.
It works!
So that's a brief, very brief introduction or reintroduction to connectors. So if you look up on the screen, here's a list of connectors in English and what they're used for. So first of all, we've got directions and place. We can use here, there, over there, beyond, under, to the left, in the distance, and opposite. So those can be used to connect two ideas together. He came from here and there. You should go over there and then pick up a basket, I don't know. We can use them for emphasis, especially, also, in particular, furthermore, in addition, indeed, of course, and certainly. These are less frequently used. Also is fairly common. I like biscuits. Also, I like not being fat. Those two don't really fit together very well, but it's true, I do like biscuits. I do like not being fat. Not enough to not eat biscuits. Furthermore, that's a pretty common one used in in writing your essays. I like writing essays. Furthermore, the teacher made me, and I have no choice. Time and sequence, we can have later, after, before, then, next, soon, finally, first and second. I went to the shops, later I went home. I went to the shops after I left my house. It's all pretty straightforward stuff with time and sequence. We use them all the time. We can use comparisons. Now, a comparison is where we take one thing and another thing and we show them both and the differences between them. As if, equally, similarly, like, in the same way, comparable, and in like manner. In like manner, I don't think I've ever heard that used in a sentence, at least not recently. Equally, for instance, I like teacher Jack. Equally, I dislike English. So we're comparing the two things which are treated equally. Normally they would of course be the same. Similarly, I enjoy school. Similarly, I enjoy homework. I'm sure none of you do. Contrast. Now these are where things we're looking at two different things and we're saying that they're different. But, however, on the other hand, otherwise, unlike, conversely, at the same time, and in spite of. I like cheese, but I don't like blue cheese. That's pretty typical. I actually know a lot of people that's true of. They like cheese, but blue cheese is too strong. They don't like it. That's not uncommon. However, is much the same thing, but without going to the extremes. I like cheese. However, too much of it isn't good for you. It doesn't go to the extreme. I like it, but I don't eat a lot because it makes me fat and makes me fart. Unlike, don't hear that one very often. Conversely, is used fairly often among some people at the same time, I guess, in spite of. Try and use that in a sentence. I have achieved a great deal in spite of my stupidity. The two different ideas, achieving something and being stupid, are at odds. So in spite of my stupidity, I've still managed to achieve something. Probably not so much in real life. Illustration. To show something. It doesn't literally mean a drawing or a picture. It just means to demonstrate to an audience what we're talking about. Such as, in this case, for one thing, for instance, for example, in the case of, illustrated by, as an example. I'm sure most of you could put a sentence together for that one. I like motorcycles. For instance, I now own 5. It's true, actually. I like off-road motorcycles, such as the Honda XR400. So we use them to make a point about the statement we make first. We use them, a connector, to talk about more detail of the same thing, but more specific. So when we say I like off-road motorcycles, such as the XR400, we're taking the first one as a broad statement, and then such as, and then we go more narrow and more focused to illustrate the point. Cause and effect. So something happens and something else happens because of it. Therefore, so, because, thus, hence, due to, as a result, and consequently. So let's have a think. I went to school. Therefore, I was able to get the job I wanted. I was able to get the job I wanted because I went to school. So we're connecting those two ideas with our connector. They work backwards or forwards due to I had a great life, due to my education. We could use as a result interchangeably. And finally, addition. So when we add one thing to another, as well as, and, to, furthermore, also, in addition to, not only but also, and or. So the most common one is obviously and. I like eggs and chips.
What's happening right now?
Who doesn't like eggs and chips? I like eggs. Furthermore, I like chips. Although chips aren't related particularly to eggs, they do go together. It's actually a common breakfast in England. I like eggs. Also, I like chips. I like eggs in addition to chips. I like chips and eggs. So there we go.
Maybe you're having a stroke.
Not only, but also. I like eggs, not only, but also chips. Or I would argue that's not really an addition. It's usually a choice, a contrast. I like eggs or chips. See, it doesn't really, I don't think that works really as an addition, but that's what it says on my computer. And it was probably made by somebody who's arguably more qualified than I am. But I don't think that fits really well. So, okay, so there's a basic list of connectors and what we use them for. At this point in grade 11, I would imagine that you can use those quite adequately in sentences, all of your very own. I would hope so anyway. So let's find out if that's true. If you go to Google Classroom, there is a quiz, and it is a proper quiz this time. Make sure that it asks you for your email address. If it doesn't, please don't fill it in because there's been a mistake in Google Classroom. I'm not going to schedule it. I'm going to do it live. So I'm going to do it right now. So go in, make sure it asks for your email address. If not, please don't submit it until I've got it adjusted. All right, guys, good luck.